Hey, good evening. I'm here today with Conversation with John with our own Ruth Pica at Northeast High School. And I'm in her classroom, and I got to tell you, I'm a little concerned. The last time I was in a high school classroom that I remember, the assistant principal came and drugged me out. So I don't know if that's going to happen today, or somebody over the loudspeaker, John, please come to the office. That's kind of what's going on inside me right now. I'm kind of nervous. But this is Ruth Pica. You know Ruth. Ruth is one of our deacons. You see her singing up on in the praise band back in the good old days when we were in live worship. But she is a teacher here at Northeast High School. And Ruth, what do you teach?
College prep, social
Okay.
studies, and some math.
Wow, so you're kind of fingers in
Little all over.
a lot of subjects. Well, Ruth, thanks for doing this tonight. And just tell me a little bit about you, how you came to know the Lord, a little bit of your background.
Well, typical for a lot of people. Grew up in Sunday school. We had a guest speaker one Sunday morning, and God just tore my heart up that day, and was like, I want to know you the rest of my life, basically. And we were in big church because I was, little, and I was scared to go up front.
Right.
I remember they were singing "Just As I Am," and I was scared to death. But I was also scared not to go up front and to say, I want to be a Christian, and I want to love Jesus for the rest of my life. I believe in you, and I wholeheartedly. It was just my whole heart was just thumping that day. It was unbelievable,
Wow.
especially as a small child. And they stopped the song, but I was halfway down the aisle, so the preacher saw me, because of course I was kind of little.
Yeah.
And they had to start the song up again.
Cool.
And then a couple weeks later I was baptized. And
Do you remember what the guest speaker was, or who he was, or what the subject was, or her?
I was at Sheridan Hills Baptist Church.
I've been there.
Billingsley was the
Bill Billingsley.
Yeah, he
yeah.
was the head pastor. And there was a guest speaker, and he was talking about heaven and hell and loving God with
Yeah.
all your heart.
Cool. Very interesting. We have a lot of things in common, Ruth and I, more than we know. I was involved in Sheridan Hills Baptist Church when I was in college at Palm Beach Atlantic College, but also one of my best friends, Ronnie Wallace. Ronnie, we're calling you out here. You better be watching. Ron, how were you involved with Ronnie?
I was the one of his workers in the youth department.
Yeah, when he was a youth minister.
Yes.
And Ronnie and I were roommates in college. So how very interesting. So yeah, well, we may find out today some more things we have in common. Who knew about that? But so that was how you came to the Lord. What's Jesus doing in your life these days? How's he challenged you? What's he showing you about himself, about God?
Every day shows me more and more of his love for us, no matter what.
Yeah.
A little older now, so I've been down different kinds of roads, and he's never left.
Wow.
I've had some horrible things happen. My mom passed away very early. I was in my early 20s, just gotten married. Actually, my honeymoon, I had to call home to see if she had passed yet. It's kind of a hard time.
Yeah.
And going back through that, and then a lot of people at the church were with me when I got my divorce with my first husband. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I would be, honestly.
Cool. Is there a passage of scripture or a verse that's kind of like your life verse, or the kind of you just kind of look to for that anchor point in your life?
Yeah, the Romans 8:28. All things work together, which again, my life has played out.
Yeah.
I haven't always understood them or understood what was happening at the time, but God has worked all things together for good.
Very cool.
And then of course Philippians 4:13, I believe, right? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, no matter what, and that's how I get through.
Very cool.
My day.
Very good. Very cool. Teaching. What was it that drew you to the call? Because I consider it a calling. The calling, not just a profession. You're behind this desk every day, not just to get a paycheck. What was it that drew you to the calling of being a teacher?
Yeah, I was actually a bookkeeper, and then I owned my own business for a few years. But I'd always work with the youth at my church, and very good connection with them. It was an easy connection I could make with them, and so I just thought, my mom always said, you'd make a good teacher, so I kind of looked into that and went back to school, and 19 years I've been teaching, and loved every year of it.
Wow. What particularly about the high school community as opposed to first graders or seventh graders?
Their energy. I can connect intellectually, and I really feel like I, Ruth Pica, can empower them to be the best they can be.
Right.
And go on and dream the highest dreams that they have and do it.
Yeah. I remember I just mentally put the connection together between student ministry with you and Ronnie and teaching and me because then the back little bit of the background, but I remember when I started out in student ministry, I wanted to say I literally had this image that when by the time the kid graduated from high school and went off to college, which you're kind of in college prep, I wanted him to have the whole puzzle put together. Exactly.
It was that easy.
and I failed miserably, and I would get so discouraged that I'm failing these kids, and so I tweaked my goal a little bit. I was like, I want them to have most of the puzzle put together. And I was discouraged, and I felt, and so it finally got to those last couple of years in student ministry when I was doing that. I was like, I just want them to have a box with all the pieces.
Right.
So whenever down the road, whenever they want to put it all together, they at least got all the pieces sort of in one box. And I felt pretty successful. So I don't know if I was lowering my bar or changing the bar altogether, but that seemed to work with me. Well, that's cool, but I'm glad you're here. I know you're obviously making an impact because you've been doing it for 19 years. That's crazy. I've always seen the public school campus as the largest mission field in the world. China's a huge mission field. All those foreign countries, our neighborhoods, but you are with a group of kids every day for a year, getting to know them and loving on them and encouraging them, and this is the opportunity. Everybody said the 10 Commandments may not be on the wall, but it's here. Anytime there's a math test, there's prayer in school. So I just think the reality of what you do is so cool. But tell me about life on a high school campus. A lot of people that might be listening, and they hear all the terrible things about this age person. But tell me what's going on a high school campus in 2020.
Well, a lot hasn't changed from when you were in high school, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They listen to a little different music.
Right.
But a lot's the same. They still want to be loved, just like we did when we were in there. Mm-hmm. Accepted for who they are. Mm-hmm. That's a big one. And I just try to, in my classroom, love them like Jesus would love them. Yeah. And that's no matter who they are. He loved the woman at the well.
Right. Right.
He just didn't. He loved the sinner on the cross with him. Yeah.
And I know, and that's cool because these kids, they're not little adults. They're young adults. They are young adults, and they have the same needs that I have, that you have, that people watches. They have the same desires, the same wants, the same fears, the same anxieties. And I think if anything, correct me if I'm wrong, some of them are real good at putting the mask on.
Oh, definitely.
And making everything's cool, but there are cracks all over that mask, just like there are cracks all over mine.
Correct.
And some of them on the other side, some of them wear it right here on their sleeve and are just looking for an opportunity to lash out, sometimes in disciplinary issues, but sometimes in need, but it's a cry for help.
Right.
Do you find that true?
Yes, definitely. And the more I have found, the more that I show love and respect, they respect that back.
Yeah.
So the discipline problems that like some people have in a classroom, because of how I am, I'm positive and I'm loving, it has helped in my classroom.
COVID-19 has changed this landscape. I'm guessing, and this is my first time on a high school campus since COVID has been initiated. What is different? What is the same with the prevalence of COVID-19 in the culture?
Well, main, huge is our masks, so we're all
masked
masked every day. I need to clean every desk before every class, so I sanitize each desk between the classes, which is a lot. Then we also have to teach both. So I have children in my classroom, no more than 20, which is a good thing, that are separated, and I have little panels for them, but also I have children online as well. So I've got kids up on the board, up online, we Zoom, we do Teams meetings, they interact with me in the classroom. It's hard, it's very difficult.
So at Northeast High School anyway, in the same 9 o'clock classroom, you will have kids online and in the room.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, so I could have 15 to 20 in my classroom, and I could have 15 to 20 as well online.
Do you have any in class only?
No.
Any online only?
No.
So all of your classes, wow.
And I teach all periods, 7 periods of the day.
That's weirdly hard and interesting all at the same time. I mean, I don't want to assume what the challenges are with that. What are the challenges with that?
Well, first of all, getting the the kids at home engaged properly, because
Right.
1 or 2 will always raise their hand or ask a question, and then the others don't. So encouraging them to get involved, and then just grading all those papers. I mean, there's no papers, it's all electronically sent, which is different. Some of us older teachers are back and forth with technology. I'm not bad at it, but I wouldn't say I'm a 20-year-old guru.
Proficient, yes. Yes.
So yes, every day is challenging.
Yeah. So that's your classroom. What about the campus at large? I mean,
We're probably 95%, all of our teachers here are doing both.
Wow.
We have, I think, 4 total that are online only. We have 85 teachers here at school.
Wow. What's the percentage of students? About 50-50?
50-50, yes.
Down the middle?
Yeah.
Do you have that hybrid deal that some of them are on campus some days and some of them
No.
So you're
either on or off.
You're either on or off.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes.
What's new with COVID that, I mean, you talked about technology is new, but is there anything that you found that this year is just, what's different?
Yeah, the atmosphere here is definitely different. The excitement's not here. It's a little more fearful, which is a good and a bad thing, because we do need to be cautious.
Fearful of contracting COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and many of their family members have either gotten it and gotten very sick, and a few of them have died. So we've had conversations about that.
This year or just since COVID?
Since COVID.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
during the COVID time.
So you have kids in this class, students, I shouldn't say kids, you call them children.
I do. They are my children. I
children.
treat them like they're my children.
So you have children in this classroom who have had family members die
Yes.
as a result of COVID-19.
Yes.
Wow, and so they're sitting here, it's a new day for them literally, and they're fearful of contracting.
100%, yes.
Do you have those kids that are, I can imagine sitting beside that young person who's lost a family member due to COVID, sitting across the plexiglass from somebody that thinks it's a bunch of hooey?
I will say, in my classroom, most of my children, I only maybe have 2 that are kind of like, don't really take it seriously. So they're the ones that I'm constantly like, their mask is down here, you know, so it's like, no, you know, and I've got to get them to break their mask all the way up. But really, it's only like 2. Now, I don't know if that's because I'm in high school and they have more of that watching the news and things like that.
Right. You know, Ruth, one of my, can I call you Miss Pica or
Yes.
Ruth? I can call you Ruth. Okay. I didn't know if I get sent to the office or anything. See, I'm fearful. I'm fearful. You know, with technology, I mean, I don't want to be so naive as to think every family has 3 or 4 laptops or 3 or, you know, are there kids that you're aware of within the Northeast community that, because of the absence of technology in their home, they're just kind of off the radar?
Yeah, well, we had that when we first shut down. But over the summer and by the beginning of the year, we've checked, we have no more laptops in our room, in other words.
Right.
We're even checking out desktops now. So if we ran out of laptops, now a student can get a desktop. So if they are at home and don't have technology, the school has been providing that, but that's running out as well.
So I you know, in school supplies, you know, we always do these school supplies drives where, you know, paper and pencil and paper towels. Now a real commodity to provide schools would be iPads, laptops.
Correct.
Even
wipes,
Clorox
wipes,
yeah, I mean,
those
but
kind of things
I
as
mean,
well, but yes.
yeah, I mean, because I know I have several old laptops just sitting there.
Actually, here at our high school, we actually have a program, and they actually fix laptops. They'll wipe them clear if you have data on there or whatever, and then fix them where kids can use them, yes.
Wow. So I guess I'm saying that because I know you have laptops and just desktops sitting around your house.
Yeah, you've upgraded.
Yeah, you've upgraded, whatever. And I think, you know, whether it's Northeast High School or Ruth or some of the other schools that maybe you reach out to can use them. And I think they're needed today.
Actually, I have a colleague who requested on Facebook for old phones.
Right.
So she was wiping their data on their phone, so when they come into the classroom, they can at least get on a phone to get online to do whatever they needed to do as well.
Yeah. It is a new day.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a new day. Well, tell me, you know, how, you know, there's so much going on culturally now, with all the protesting that's going on across the country, but also in St. Pete every night almost. The political discussions that are happening, all the cultural things that are happening. I don't want to be stereotypical and say, you know, those high school kids, they're just concerned about the football game this weekend. Are they involved in those? Do they have issues, concerns? You know, where are we at with that?
Yeah, 100%. In the classroom, I really teach them to respect each other's views. So we're not name calling or bashing another culture in any way. But the fear is there, the wanting to, you know, justice for all is there.
Yeah, sure.
Seems like the all hasn't always been all. And so, yes, and I encourage them to speak up and to make changes in the world, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah, I think I always felt that when I was working with high school kids, and still have a passion for that, that they must be active in culture and in society, and for those ways for you and for other teachers to see how they engage in today. It's not, you know, I always would get frustrated at that wonderful old deacon that would come up and say, these are the church leaders of tomorrow. I'm like, no, they're the church leaders of today. And we need to treat them that way and expect them to be engaged in the conversation. So it's kind of cool That, I mean, are you seeing that these kids are active in culture today?
Yes, definitely.
As a deacon, you're a deacon at First Baptist. How do you see your role as a deacon at First Baptist? And I'll just leave it open-ended. I was going to say as opposed to a teacher at Northeast High School, but I'll just leave it open-ended. What do you see as your role as a deacon at First Baptist?
I think deacon and the teacher is the exact same. Mm-hmm. I'm there to serve the church, or I'm there to serve my students. Mm-hmm. I'm there to love, accept, and hopefully show the love of God to those people, whether it's at church or in my classroom.
As you're here on Northeast Campus and you're around high school kids 5 days a week, do you see hope in them, in their lives, in your inaction? Hope for the future of the world, hope for the future of the country. Do they give you any hope?
Yes, they do.
In what ways?
Just their excitement about learning the different things and making their mark on this world. So they have careers in mind, they have jobs they want to do, they have colleges they want to go to, and they're dreaming it.
Very cool. Interesting. I mean, when I remember when I was in high school, I didn't remember a lot of kids saying, I want to be a high school teacher. I can't wait to get out of college and go be a dentist or a lawyer or whatever, get involved in politics. Do you see students today already having their careers planned out, or just kind of like, I'm going to kind of figure out what happens next?
Yeah, most kids by 10th grade kind of know where they're going. Wow. Now they might change it a little bit, but I would say most 10th graders are kind of like, I want to be a vet.
Do you find that kid in 10th grade that wants to be a vet, what percentage of those kids go on to be a vet?
Probably 20 or 30.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. They really pursue it. Yeah. We kind of do some career explorations in high school, so they can kind of get to know where they want to be.
Okay, so so you see hope in the lives of these young people. That gives you hope for the future, hope for our country. Ruth, what gives you hope personally?
That God is in control. He's the past, He's definitely the present, and He's the future. And without Him, I don't know if I would see as much hope.
Wow, very cool. God is definitely the answer to everything we need, and it gives us purpose, it gives us peace, it gives us strength, and it definitely, God gives us hope for the future, that He's got everything in His hands. Even the COVID situations in the middle of Northeast High School. Beautiful campus, by the way, Northeast High School. Well, thank you, Ruth. I appreciate you giving me some time on this day after school, and I want to encourage you folks that are watching to think of Ruth, because there's folks like her every Monday through Friday in a room like this with great potentiality sitting in front of them every day. And I'll say it again, I really believe this is the largest mission field that we have an opportunity to impact as a church, as believers, is people like Ruth who are faithful, God-believing, Jesus-worshiping folks, pouring their lives into the lives of some people every day. And we need to pray for them. We need to encourage them any way we can. We need to cheer them on. And I just want to say, Ruth, it was a bunch of people like you that got me to where I am today, even though the principals had a lot to do with it. That's another story. But no, and I think, who knows the potentiality of the 20 people and the 10, 15 people every day that you impact. You've got no clue. And I think we as a church body need to be lifting you up and praying for you each and every day. So I thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
God bless you. God bless you. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. Look to see you next week and conversations with John. Until then, God bless you. Be the church.